Alright guys, so we have a little bit of an interesting situation over here on the NA version of the game. We basically have the download campaign with Arthur that we're supposed to get, but for some reason they're kind of replacing it as the spring campaign. I don't really know what's up with that, unless they're like just trying to maybe be a little quirky, be like, hey, what if we rename the download campaign to something else? I don't really know what the point of doing that is. Like, I didn't really think there was anything wrong with this being a download campaign. Like, here's the original one on JP. I don't really understand what they're doing, but sure, maybe they just haven't hit another download milestone, right? And they're just like, okay, let's just throw it in as like the Spring Has Sprung campaign. But honestly, with half of those download campaigns, I never noticed if we even do hit the next milestone. So, dude, they could have just straight up lied to me. They could have been like, yep, here it is, 19 million downloads. And I'd be like, dang, we must have already hit 19 million downloads. Like, I wouldn't know any better. But I guess I don't know, they want to do this Spring Has Sprung campaign. But we're just going to talk about that in today's video. It's a nice little bit of Saint Quartz, and it's a free banner to skip, I suppose, if you want the long and short of it. But if you're going to be sticking around a little bit longer, make sure you leave a like on the video and you subscribe to the channel for that sweet daily FGO content. This actually kind of ruined me doing Artoria today, and I got pushed back to tomorrow, but you know, your boy's not salty about that at all. Anyway, let's just go ahead and just start getting into this. So first and foremost, let's just talk about the obvious thing. This is like the easiest, just fattest skip of all time. Like, you do not need to summon for Arthur, and I'm saying this as someone who has like Arthur is maybe one of his top 10 like favorite Fate characters, period. Like, I absolutely love Arthur. I think he's super sick, but they just did my man insanely dirty in FGO. I don't know how it's possible. If you just look at like everything he does, it looks like he would be just really good on paper. He's one of those very few servants that you look at them on paper, you're like, wow, this guy looks like they'd be really good, because you've been pulling up the damage chart over here. It's like his attack's pretty nice. The fact that like he now has like a 50% buster buff for 3 turns is really insane. And then, like, you know, giving him the crit damage is nice. Plus he drops 30 stars, and he's got a battery. And I mean, the damage mod's not super great, but like, you'd think he'd be doing a little bit more. And I can't even say that it's like, well, maybe he doesn't like double buff himself like some other servants, but he gives himself the NP damage here on his NP. I don't really know what it is. It's one of those servants that you look at him on paper, you'd be like, oh, this guy is like insane. He's gonna be just dropping fat NPs all over the place. And then look at this guy, he sucks. Garbage, terrible. It's that's for current standards. No, sir, that is not acceptable. When you're like not doing anything else, when his whole thing is to just be a big bungus, you know, and smack people with the big NP, dog, he needs to get like his NP upgraded. We need to crank that up to like 20% and throw in, I don't know, another special damage mod or something in there, man, like an attack buff as well. They need to give this man a little bit more. Suffice to say, do not summon for this guy. Like, you do not need to summon for Arthur. The only people that I could possibly see like summoning for this guy are people that are like me and they really like Arthur. But then, even then, can you really be tempted to summon for a guy you really like with like Morgan and Sith and, you know, Barghest, Oberon, all these like insane servants just right around the corner? Whether or not they come out like early April or in June still doesn't really matter. That's still like a couple, it's still gonna be like around the corner, right? They're still like just right there. They're so close to coming out, and like surely there is like one of those broken servants that you want. Castoria even comes back. Like, surely one of those servants interests you more than Arthur, right? I don't know, I don't feel like I have to make this case as hard as I'm making it, but it's like, surely this is not the banner to be spending your Saint Quartz on, right? Like, Tyra, I can kind of get it. Karen, I can get it. Like, they're new limited servants. They're both pretty good, especially Tyra, but this is not the one, Morpheus. This is not the one. So the Da Vinci workshop, the Da Vinci shop is going to be bringing some new stuff back. And so, like, they're all like pretty decent. I think this is a really good command code to go ahead and pick up and slap on just generally people you're going to be bringing to harder fights. You could slap this on your Sigurds or your Siegfrieds if you really want to do even more damage, but It's just a general good command code to have, because Dragon's not like an uncommon enemy type to be fighting. We have like wyverns and dragon enemies all over the place, servants with dragon traits, so it's not a bad thing to have, and you get that little bit of extra crit damage. That's not bad to pick up. This one I don't think is as necessary. I know I get asked this all the time whenever we get like these like random CEs. It's like the main ones you want to hit are like the QP ones and the like big bond ones, like the 10% bond, the 5%, but it's 15% when it's on the support list for both bond and QP. Those are like really good to get just in general, because they're CEs you can like slap in your backline whenever, right? You slap in the QP one, if there's like an event where it drops a particularly high amount of QP, you can get some extra back, makes farming dailies a lot easier. And then the bond one, I mean, literally every FGO player ever just slaps that into every team comp. I've seen people slap it into their team comps over like event drop CEs, all right? Just because, I don't know, we just all love bonding up our servants. We get the like Saint Cords and everything. I don't really get it, but this, I don't think this one is like as big of like a major one that you gotta get this CE, because, you know, the extra 5% is fine, but you're probably gonna like, one, not even have the space, and two, if you have like the other like the 10% one, you're probably just gonna run that one over this one. And if you have the 15% one, or the one that's 5% when you use it, you're just gonna use that one anyway because it's already a 5% bond thing. But I get it, you're like, I could also get a 5% extra master EXP while doing that, but I don't think most people really care about their master EXP, right? I don't think a lot of people really care. This, I think, can be nice. This is just like a nice general command code. You could just slap this on any DPS. You get to remove a debuff. It's nice. It's cool. You have a little bit of debuff removal. Cool beans on that one. This is really nice because if you've just been leveling up any of your servants, if you've been grailing a couple of guys, you'll get some Saint Quartz back for this. So this is just, in general, a nice thing. If you're a newer player, don't worry, this will come to you. It's a permanent mission. But if you've grailed a couple of servants, bada boom, bada bing, you're going to go ahead and get yourself a nice chunk of change over here that you don't have to use on a tempting banner. Like, I don't know what they're doing, because like I have this pulled up because I feel like, now this isn't the one that we got on NA, but I feel like we just got a banner with like Arthur on Radar, right? The one with Ozymandias, the one that they like rebranded to Winter. I feel like we just got that, right? Maybe I'm like gaslighting myself and that was actually like a year ago or something, but I feel like I just saw this guy on the NA version. I don't know what it is with them bringing him back every 5 seconds, but if you're gonna do that, give him more buffs, all right? Like, let my boy cook. But yeah, aside from that, if you've, you know, do like little missions like this, you beat some Lancer guys up, you beat 3 divine enemies, like things that are not hard at all. I mean, even the wiki here is like, you could go to these spots right here and take these guys out. It's not super hard. You get a couple of EXP cards. It's nice, sure. I honestly, I'd prefer extra QP, I think, at this point. But yeah, it's a nice little celebration they're throwing our way. I mean, nothing super insane. I mean, the login bonus, ooh, we get like 10 tickets and 10 million QP. But honestly, just take it as like a time to be like, oh, if you got Arthur, go do his rank up quest. Maybe that's like the 10th one you need to do. So you get the extra 10 Saint Quartz. That could be kind of nice. You know, you get your extra tickets, you get a little bit of QP, and you get your extra Saint Quartz as well from doing the master missions, right? And just leveling up your servants, which is something you should be doing anyway. So just a nice little thing to be throwing our way. But yeah, I don't know. I think most people are going to like barely even notice that this comes in, and they're just going to still be farming like the Valentine's event, being like, wait a minute, Arthur was here. What the heck was going on over there? Like, I didn't barely even notice he was there. But yeah, I don't know. If you're like the one random guy that's going to be summoning for Arthur, let me know in the comments. I hope this video serves as a catalyst in some capacity, but I'm sorry, I just can't like fathom anybody summoning for Arthur, right? He's, again, one of my favorite characters in the Nasuverse as a whole, but like, even I wouldn't go out of my way to summon for him because they just didn't make him good, right? It doesn't feel good to use a servant that you really like, but then they're just hot dog water, right? It doesn't feel good. You're like, man, I really like this character, but it's not helping that they're just dookie dog water right now, that they're just not good. But anyway, let me know all that in the comments down below if you're going to be that one guy that's summoned. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be someone, so let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, which was supposed to be the Artoria video today, but then they dropped this out of nowhere. So, you know, I'm a little salty because I wanted to talk about Artoria, an actual good servant.